Ever pinch pennies all year for that one family vacation only to feel the budget blues afterwards? If so, I was just like you. After 3 vacationless years, I stumbled on credit card rewards travel and cracked the code to amazing vacations that I could actually afford.
Welcome to Wonderland on Points. In this podcast, you will discover how opening credit cards strategically can save you thousands on travel. We're not just dreamers anymore. We're 2 adventurous moms turning dreams into reality. Join us as we spill all the points and miles secrets.
And contrary to popular belief, you don't have to spend $1 million to earn 1,000,000 points. Traveling on credit card points isn't reserved for those with overflowing bank accounts. It's for everyday people like you and me, learning to turn routine expenses into free travel.
Consider us your points travel guides. This is Wonderland on Points. Let the adventure begin. Welcome back to Wonderland on Points, everybody. It is almost fall, y'all. I am dropping the fall, y'all, because it really is almost here, guys. I cannot believe it. I was looking at the calendar just today for some dates, scheduling some things, and all of a sudden it said, when I was looking out, it said September, October. I was like, whoa. It's summer in my mind still. And it's like, no, we are almost to fall.
I have to say something. First of all, I'm wearing a sweatshirt this morning because it's actually chilly enough outside to wear a sweatshirt, which it just totally swapped. We've had the hottest, most humid mornings literally 4 days ago. And now the last couple of days have been chilly. And I was in my car this morning and I was like, fall's coming. You know why? My tire light indicator is on because it was cold enough for my tires to lose pressure.
Yes.
That's how I know. That's how I know it's coming.
That is a real sign. Well, today we are going to be getting into the IHG program, and we have a special guest on the show with us today. It is Jenn, who you can find her on Instagram at travel.more.mama. Travel More Mama. So welcome, Jenn. We're so excited that you're here.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Yes, we are so excited to have you here. It's been a long time coming, but we finally made it work. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about you, your travel background, who you travel with, and then when you got into that switch from making it more of a personal hobby for your family to deciding you were going to teach people how to do it on Instagram.
Sure. Yeah. So, travel background, my fun fact is that I'm from a military family. So, my dad was in the Air Force. I was actually born overseas. I was born in Germany. And, with a military family, you move around a lot, which is very nice because it gives you the option to see a lot of different places. And my family was just very adventurous, like wanted to always explore the areas where we were. So growing up, it didn't dawn on me that like you wouldn't get in a car and drive 10 hours to cities outside your city to explore. And we were just really lucky that we were, like I said, I was born in Germany, but we were also stationed in Hawaii at one point. Wow. We have been stationed in Texas, in the Midwest. So I feel like we got to do a lot of exploring in a lot of different places. But little did I know until being an adult how expensive that is. And also as an adult, I'm not cut out for road trips. So that's just not my sitting in the back with like my coloring book was a lot different than being the navigator. So
now that you're the mom handing out snacks and keeping everybody from rioting in the car.
Exactly. So, and I remember like now my kids have iPads and just up the wazoo to keep them entertained. I remember one summer being so excited because my mom got me this like, it looked like a kitchen lunch tray and it had like a beanbag on the other side.
Yes,
so
I remember
I have
these.
one too.
So you could like put it on your lap and like, I was like, wow, look, I'm coloring on my lap. Like, I remember
the good old days, simpler times.
Right. So that was kind of the background. And as I grew up and wanted to do more longer distances, wanting to do more flying, and I realized how expensive it was to do that, I had to find creative ways. So I did not really enter the points and miles space honestly, till I would say later, as a longtime traveler, budget traveler, uh, I was like very against credit
Mm-hmm.
cards for a
Yes.
long
You're
time. Like
all of us.
it just didn't even enter. Like I was debit card daily balancer,
Same.
which I think is good because it like institutes financial responsibility, like a level of understanding when you're working on an all cash system for a really long time. But I didn't really understand all the value that there were in credit cards
Right.
and benefits, even beyond points. So when I got married, my husband, his family was very used to using credit cards, and his mom actually was like a pro, not necessarily like opening up cards for welcome offers, but just really understood like having key credit cards and accumulating points. And actually, as our wedding gift, they sent us to Hawaii for 10 days, completely on points. And at that time, I was just like, wow, I can't believe we are here for free because she did this. Like, she just knew all the like spending categories and was very savvy with the key credit cards that she had. At the same time, I was entering the workforce, and in business, my job involved a fair amount of travel. And so while I didn't have credit cards, I was learning about loyalty programs because, as a business traveler, you start to find your favorite picks and your favorite stays and learn like how to gain status when you're loyal. So I feel like when my husband and I got married and he made me an authorized user on his credit card, our Trusty United card, because we're in a Denver hub, which is a United hub, I started to like sort of see how these two things could come together. And that's like really when we started cooking with gas. So I would say about 10 years ago was when we opened our first credit card solely for the welcome offer because we started to have kids, and like it was, even with all the little tricks we had, like it just wasn't enough to keep up with the points that we needed. So we wanted to take our daughter to Florida to visit my family, and needed a lot of points to do so. And at the time, Southwest was running a promo, an elevated offer. And so we jumped on that. And even at that point, I still didn't really realize how much you could really. So I didn't earn the companion pass at that point because I just didn't even know, like, oh, if I opened a second card, I would have the points I needed for that. But, long story short, was kind of doing the slow burn method for a while until I really realized like now there is power in this. And like now that I understand my financial responsibility more, like I felt comfortable then like starting to open more cards.
Yes.
And so
It's a
that's how we got here.
process. I think it's a process. You learn a little bit at a time, and you got here and you've gone on incredible vacations along the way. So today we're going to dig into the IHG program. You mentioned really learning a lot about loyalty programs, how you can maximize them. And IHG is a favorite program to many people. We talk so often about Hyatt, of course, but there are many other great options out there and sweet spots out there. And IHG has some really good deals. So I'm excited to teach everybody all about it today. IHG is a transfer partner of Chase. Now, generally, you're going to learn as we get through this episode, we don't move a lot of Chase points to IHG, but there are times that it could make sense. So we'll talk about that a little bit. It's a 1-to-1 transfer ratio. And IHG has some really fantastic higher end properties, plus a large footprint. I mean, we really think of the budget friendly options, a large footprint of those, but they have higher end properties as well. So tell us first, before we really get into all the weeds here, what are your favorite things about the IHG program as a whole?
Yeah, and you stated it so well. It really is, I think, a sleeper program, like sort of a secret sleeper here that underrated. It does certainly have some quirks to it. So, it is status. There's some things you got to work for, but it's definitely, like you said, the footprint is such a massive benefit. So in comparison, the Go Hyatt right? Amazing
Yes.
program, so well loved in the points and miles world for the huge value you get from your points. That is amazing, but there are only about 1,300 Hyatts. So
Right.
they are small, and in comparison, IHG portfolio has 6,000 plus.
Mm.
So massively many more options. And on the onsite, I didn't even know like IHG is a parent portfolio to all of these different hotel chains that we're going to get into. So your budget friendly option they have is most of your Holiday Inns and like Holiday Inn proper type resorts, so Holiday Inn Express, etc. Obviously, those are budget friendly, very favorite. I've never actually stayed at a Holiday Inn,
Haven't either.
just in my area.
Really?
They
No Holiday Inn Express, guys? Neither one of you?
Never.
never.
Okay, I am shocked right now. I have stayed in many a Holiday Inn Express. Maybe it's just the areas that I live or have visited. You know, they have free breakfast. They have pretty good free breakfast. I give them a good score for their free breakfast, but I'm so surprised you guys haven't stayed there. Okay, carry on. I just thought that was interesting. That's probably one
Yeah.
of the first budget properties and most common budget properties I ever stayed in before I got into the world of points and miles and realizing that Hyatt Place, Hyatt House were more where I ended up. That's where I end up now, of course. But I do love a Holiday Inn Express.
It's possible I've stayed in one and just didn't like really register that's, it just didn't log in my memory as staying there. But I think it also, at least in the US, the Holiday Inn certainly has a reputation of being low quality. And look, you're getting what you pay for. You're getting a stay. But when I look at things like national parks, there are zero Hyatts in some of these locations where there could be three or four Holiday Inns there. And so I think the reputation certainly, may exist, but is maybe not warranted. Like I think there are some Holiday Inns that are probably more run down, but by and large, I think the brand has kept up with just uh, quality standards, right? It's not going to be a lavish luxury resort, but to have a free breakfast and especially traveling with a family, that can mean a lot. And so actually we will be staying in them in Europe next summer. And we can talk about that, but I actually recently signed up for the IHG promo when it came with five free
Yep.
nights. And so we'll be using that for Europe next year. And from what I understand, Holiday Inn overseas definitely shines in comparison to the Holiday Inns in the US. Like there are higher quality, especially if you're going to Asia. People have actually raved about these Holiday Inns in
Okay.
Asia.
Good to
So
know.
that's a little tip for you. But yes, that is like their budget friendly Holiday Inn Express level. Then you will have the premium collection, which are going to be like that mid tier level. There's a Voco, there's Crown Plaza. There are a number of other properties in the premium collection. So, like, now it's a step up where you're going to start to have some more amenities, like maybe a pool, maybe some nicer options in the room. And then what I didn't even know was in the IHG program is the luxury and lifestyle collection. I, in my older age, I have turned into my little bougie self. And like, this is where I dabble and spend most of my time is in the luxury and lifestyle collection. So my favorite property is a Kimpton. It is just a brand that has such a sense of quirky personality and fun little touches. And just is a really pleasant stay. It has like free happy hours.
Ooh.
And for all guests, like there's nothing you need to do to like qualify for this. It's no club access required. Like that is out. Happy hour, drinks and hors d'oeuvres. There are also Hotel Indigos, which have like another fun sense of style and can be really fun to find. Six Sense are more of like your wellness brands. I have been looking at those because there are some really intriguing properties. And then the most highest would be Intercontinental.
Hmm.
So you hear a lot about like Intercontinental Tahiti. These are like very luxurious resort style properties.
Fun story about an Intercontinental. There was, I don't know if there still is, an Intercontinental in Chicago. And when I was 14, my parents coming up on their 15th wedding anniversary, and I thought they should do something special. And we were kind of poor. And so I did research on our little dial-up internet computer at our house. And then I called my grandma and I was like, Grandma, I think we should send mom and dad on a train to Chicago to stay in this hotel for a weekend for their 15th anniversary. I think I had $150 saved up or something. And I asked if she would put in the rest and she agreed. And so we did it and I surprised my family. So like I've been in this world since I was a teenager, guys, of like planning trips and sending people places. I just didn't even know that it was an
It's your
IHG.
love language.
It is my love language. I did not know actually that Intercontinental was an IHG. I thought of that just as its own kind of entity out there. So that's just a funny little connection there.
I recently stayed. I know. Isn't that the cutest? I recently stayed in an IHG for our, for my 40th birthday. That's where I went. I was going to say my wedding anniversary, but it was my 40th birthday. We stayed at the Willard in DC, which is right beside the White House. That's an Intercontinental. And then we actually first walked to the wrong Intercontinental. There's two in DC. We got to one and realized after the fact, I guess I wasn't paying good attention, that, wait, this is the wrong one. It looked very nice as well on the waterfront. But the Willard near the White House is very nice. My husband has an IHG personal credit card. I do not. He also has an Amex Platinum. So we actually booked it not directly with IHG, but through the Amex Fine Hotels and Resorts program. But when we did that, we also put in his IHG number. So when we got there and we got like a welcome amenity for booking through the Amex Fine Hotels and Resorts program, we actually had two welcome amenities. They also honored his IHG status. So we got both like some little macarons and we got and a personalized card from the manager. And it was this beautiful 3D card that you opened up and had an image of the Intercontinental. I mean, it was very nice. It was definitely the nicest welcome gifts and amenities. I can't remember what the other thing is right off the top of my head, but of any property I've stayed at. So they are, when you say they're top tier, they really are. And they go above and beyond for customer service.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that is a really well-known brand for just, like you said, like I can see it right next to the White House. And I mean, you have to imagine some of the guests that probably stay there.
Oh yeah.
Not
Martin
only
Luther
because
King.
of its location.
Martin Luther King Jr. finished his, it's coming back to me after you said that. Martin Luther King Jr. finished his I Have a Dream speech, like put the finishing touches on it.
It's crazy.
At the Willard,
Love
like at
this
that
one.
very hotel before he went and gave the speech, which is just mind-blowing.
That is crazy. Let's talk a little bit about status with IHG. Since we're already talking about the nice perks that you got from having that personal card, how does the elite status work and what are the key perks at different levels?
Sure. One thing I want to quickly mention, because we talked in the intro about Chase, the intro to the program of the Chase being a one transfer partner to IHG. There's a lot of reasons why you have. I like to use my Chase points for Hyatt stays, as I think most of us do. But they are the only transfer partner to IHG. And right now they are running a 100% transfer bonus.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to mention that real quickly, that can also be a really good avenue to pursue.
Yes.
If you need some extra points. But in terms of status with IHG is incredibly easy to get because it requires signing up for one credit card. So they have tiers of status, like most brands, starting off with just like literally, I think it's called club status. And you get that just by like signing up for a loyalty program. There's really not a ton of benefit beyond getting some emails from them. So, but then you can start to earn.
On the email
list, right? Silver, elite, and gold status are their first two entry levels. And here the status is more around earning, like qualifying bonus night, they call them bonus points or base points. These are not points that are redeemable for stays. It's really points that are geared towards tracking towards status. So at the silver and gold level, there's like nothing to write home about. It's really more about like little edges in terms of earning higher status. Platinum elite status is where the benefits start to kick in, and I think really makes sense to hold if you are going to be visiting a lot of IHGs. But this is where you start to get things like when you book 3 nights with points, you get the 4th night free. And that is definitely something I have utilized to extend some of these luxury stays. You also get free room upgrades when they're available, and you get a welcome amenity. It's nothing like a free breakfast, but it is nice to walk in, and I always enjoy receiving a treat wherever I
Heck
go.
yes.
So who doesn't love a treat?
Who doesn't love a
So
treat?
Platinum Elite status. Yeah, and Platinum Elite status you can earn if you stay 40 nights in an IHG. I certainly am not doing that. Or you can sign up for one credit card. In my case, I signed up for the IHG One Rewards Business Platinum card, but it also comes with their personal card. And both of those have a $99 annual fee.
That just seems so reasonable. Also, is that the card, the personal card, is that the one that comes with one free night every year? My parents have one of the personal cards that comes with a free night every year, and they literally use this as kind of like a one-off, like we're road tripping, we need a place to stay to break it up. It's like such a great perk for such a low annual fee. And then the fact that you can also take advantage of the 4th night free. I mean, there's a lot of value here with a shockingly low annual fee card. I think that's really, really interesting.
Yeah, so there's 2 personal cards. There's the IHG One Rewards Traveler credit card, and that has a $0 annual fee. That one doesn't necessarily have the free night perk. So the free night perk comes with the One Rewards Premier credit card. It is a free night that you can use at any property in the IHG portfolio priced at 40,000 points or less.
Okay.
So that's not going to work for some of these luxury stays, but like you said, I have definitely gotten really good use out of them. For airport stays, you could certainly use them on a road trip. I think they say the value of the free night is about $200. And so if you think of like when you're road tripping where you would stay, it's probably something that's like $150. The annual fee on the card is $99. So right there, that's a wash in my mind. And because IHG has a flexible points calendar, like their properties can range greatly in the nightly rate. And so actually you can score that free night. Like if you are really savvy and have a flexible schedule, I saw that you could, speaking of Intercontinental, there are nights at the Intercontinental in New York that could qualify for this free night. Probably not a Friday night in the city, but again, if you are savvy at using the calendar and searching with flexible nights, you can see the point ranges just on like how Hyatt has recently added. You can look and find where are nights that you could use at properties you want.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Places you actually want to stay.
Yeah. Right. Let's clarify 2 things. The first thing for our audience is with the 4th night free, is there a cap or a category on what you can use that for? Or is it literally any property?
As far as I know, it is any property. So when you look at some of the properties that are like, we're going to talk about the Seafire later, that is 70,000 points a night. So to get that 4th night free, to save 70,000 points on a stay
Massive.
is huge. So that really adds up in a big
Yeah,
way.
that's huge. And then my other question was you got the business card, which not everybody is going to go into the business card world. Do you remember what sign up bonus you were able to grasp that at? And do you know what the average sign up bonus is on that $99 annual fee personal card? Like what are people, or maybe not even average, like what should people hold out for? What do we see time and time again?
So we'll talk about the personal card first. The standard offer is 140,000 points, which I think on the surface sounds big, especially when you're thinking of like Hyatt stays. 140,000 points, like I would jump through hoops for 140,000 points that I could use at
Yes.
Hyatt. 140,000 points will not go as far with an IHG. It's probably maybe like 2 nights of a luxury stay, which I mean, I'm still not turning my nose up at. But I would say at least once, twice a year, I have seen that personal card go up to
Mm.
165,000 points. So I think 140,000, depending on like where you are in your points journey and like what you're trying to plan. If you need those points, I wouldn't not sign up for the card, but there is an opportunity to wait for when they are either elevated to 165, or the personal card will also once a year offer 5 free nights in lieu of points. And so that is a card we recently signed up for because we're going to use those 5 free nights when we go to Europe next year.
Mm-hmm.
Traveling in Europe, I'm sure you've covered on the podcast, can be more challenging in hotels with larger families because you cannot fit. It's very rare to find hotels where you can fit 4 people in one room.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
for
Mary
sure.
Ellen, I know you're often traveling with 5. So
Yes.
yes. So a lot of times for Europe, you're either in an Airbnb or you're getting 2 hotel rooms. So for us, the 5 free nights plus having a stash of IHG points is going to really fund our Europe trip with our family because we'll be able to do 3 nights in Paris covered mostly with that one offer and then throw in a few more points.
Yeah. I want to caution people whenever you see IHG welcome offers, just read the fine print closely because some listeners may remember we did an episode a while back where I think we talked about maybe any regrets that we had. And I said the one thing that I have regretted is when I chose to sign up my husband, my player two, for his IHG personal card because it was similar to the offer that you got. It was 5 free nights, but the 5 free nights had a 40,000 point cap on the night, not 60. I have seen it be 60. There was 40,000 points. You also could not book them like at one time. Like I couldn't go book a 5 night stay somewhere. You had to book them individually. Now you could book 5 individual nights at the same hotel and probably they wouldn't make you check out of the room or whatever, but what a hassle. It really, we found a way to use those nights throughout the year doing one-offs by national parks that we were visiting, etc. But it wasn't so easy and it wasn't so as appealing as it first sounded when it was a 5 free nights. So sometimes this card, they offer maybe an elevated points offer, maybe 165,000 points. Sometimes they go with this 5 free nights, but just make sure before you sign up that you have a plan for those nights, that you think you know how you want to use them, and that you understand the terms for how they will allow you to use them. Now, do you know, was it the same for you or did you have the higher 60,000 point allotment that you could use your nights?
So ours is for the higher allotment of 60,000, but this is such a good caveat, Mary Ellen, that you mentioned, because even with the higher night, it is honestly free night certificates in general, like any program. I would definitely research when and how you would use them because it can be such a gotcha even with the 60,000 point nights, because there's no rules for us like having to book them individually. That sounds like a pain but workable. But when you, like I said, when we were talking about earlier with the flexible calendar and how wide of a range a lot of these hotels can swing. So, like, for example, that Intercontinental in New York, there are a lot of nights where they're at like 110,000 points for a night. And that's not unusual for some of the luxury stays. When I was looking at how we'll use them in Paris, I immediately thought, oh, okay, like I could probably use them at a Hotel Indigo. Well, even that was like 120,000 points, and my jaw kind of dropped because I was like, 100 for a Hotel Indigo? Like
Right.
the
Not worth
one
it.
here in
Not worth it.
Breckenridge is I've stayed at with my annual free night certificate that you can only use on 40,000 points. So at first when I did the research, my jaw dropped at like even where you could use those points. But then when you look at the calendar, that Intercontinental in New York, which could be 110,000 points one night, like was 35 on a Wednesday night in probably their slower season. So it's really
It
dramatic
is.
how that swing is. So I would definitely, whatever, any program with free nights, like definitely do your research and think about when and where you're going to use them and what time frame, because you only have 1 year to use them
Mm,
from when it's issued. And so if you're like, I really want to use it to go to Hawaii, but I only have this one window to go at, and then you go and look in the points calendar, you could very well find that like the week you want to go, it would be out of reach for those certificates.
yeah.
So
And there are some programs that allow you to top off with extra points, but IHG is not one of those programs.
for the free night certificates that you earn with these elevated offers, that is true. You cannot top off, which is a little bit of a hindrance because there are a lot of properties when you're doing the research that are, for at least us, we can use them up to 60,000 points. And there were properties I wanted to stay at that were 63,000 points. And you're
Yeah,
like,
I
that
ran
is
into that too.
so
Rude.
obnoxious. And rude, right? And so there would be nights that are like in Paris, nights that are 63,000 points, and then nights that are like at like the hotel next door that are 30,000 points. And so, like, it feels like there is a little bit of a gap where you're like, I wish there were more hotels that were just below 60. Like, it's either above 60 or way low.
And I'm sure they know that.
Mhm.
I'm sure it's
On
strategic.
purpose.
Yeah, and so those free nights you cannot top off, but the annual free night certificate that comes with the credit card, you can. And I was doing research last night. It doesn't look like there's a limit on how high you could top them off. So, like, I was playing around with like how could I use this free night in Paris? Like, I could stay at the Hotel Indigo and use my certificate plus an extra, it was like 22,000 points. And then I could stay at the Intercontinental for an extra 80,000 points. I'm not going to obviously do that, but like that is an option. It doesn't have the top off maximum for just the free night annual
That's
certificate.
great information though, especially with a transfer bonus like the one we're seeing right now. That might be kind of a fun way to use that, and I feel like that's really expanding your annual fees value. Okay, so what about the business card that you have? Is the standard offer on that one, and which offer did you get?
So the business credit card, their standard rate is 140,000. I signed up for it when it had an elevated offer of 165. So again, I think if you need 140,000 points, I wouldn't not sign up at the standard rate, but I think there's an opportunity to wait, and that is really nice.
Yeah, for sure.
One other thing I want to mention about these credit cards, though, because I know a lot of us have player twos and like to use the player two game, which was a surprise to me when I was with IHG, is they do not often offer referral bonuses on elevated offers, which is really freaking
Wah,
annoying
wah,
because like
wah.
when there's a perfect sound effect for that, because like when there's an elevated offer on like a chase card, a lot of times that 2 for 1 like that sign up where I will sign up, then I would refer my husband, and then he would sign up, and you've just earned a boatload of points because you could both sign up and earn a referral bonus. Unfortunately, that's often not the case with the IHG cards. So you do get a referral bonus when their standard offer 140, but you do not get it when it's elevated. Those elevated offers you can only actually get through like public links or affiliate
is
links.
sneaky.
Yeah.
And is there any sharing between family members in terms of points, or would you have to book your rooms separately, like each of you do a points booking and then try to combine them at checkout?
So this is also kind of an annoying thing with IHG. I have found a workaround, but it will not work 100% of the time, which is there is not points sharing between accounts. And so that was also really annoying because that was like initially my plan with how I was booking something was I was going to sign up and I was going to have my husband sign up and we were going to combine points for a stay. And then I found I couldn't share as easily. So that was a little annoying, but the workaround that we discovered was IHG, just like loyalty account that you sign up for with the brand. They also have something similar for business accounts. And a lot of times this is more meant for people who are like booking like large batches of rooms for their company's business travelers, or if you're hosting a conference, uh, that's like the loyalty program that it's for. You can sign up for that for free. And so my husband signed up for this loyalty business account. And with that comes free sharing. So he signed up for that and he was able to transfer his points to my account, 180,000 of them for free. Now it is kind of I don't really know what you need to do to get approved for this business account because he got approved with like his Facebook market group, business, right? Like that a lot of us use. I sell my used stuff and that's my side hustle to get credit cards. He used that and qualified for a business account. I, on the other hand, who have a real business with an EIN, did not qualify for the IHG
Interesting.
business program. So, like, I don't really know what their algorithm is for getting someone approved. So that's why I say it's not 100%. But you can sign up for free. So it might not be before you sign up for a credit card. Yeah, before you sign up for a credit card with the plan to share, that might be worth trying. You can transfer, but there is a cost associated with it, so like $5 per 1,000 points. And at the low end, if you're like, oh, I just need like 5,000 points to like make a stay happen, it might be worth doing. But like when you want to combine 180,000 points, absolutely not. So that's just a little tip.
Yeah, no, that's an amazing tip. The business sharing. I kind of want to go see if I can qualify for that. We'll find out.
Have you ever had a situation where you bought IHG points? One of the things that I came away from the Travel More conference last year was really the first time that I heard a presentation, and it wasn't about IHG, it was about a different program, but it was talking about how it can actually be very beneficial, especially for people who would otherwise be booking with cash, to buy points and use those for redemption. So, have you ever encountered a situation where you bought IHG points, or can you think of a situation where that would make sense?
This is such an underrated part of the program is points buying. And I agree with you. In most cases, it does not make sense to buy points. I have never bought Southwest Rapid Rewards points. I have never bought points from any other program but IHG because there are times where it really does make sense. So the Kimpton Seafire stay that we'll talk about, buying points was part of my strategy and how I did it for a very reasonable amount. We've talked about how Hyatt can transfer 1-to-1, and right now they have the 100% bonus. Even then, I am not sure I would transfer my Hyatt. I call them my Hyatt points, but it's actually my Chase points, right? They're so interchangeable because I solely think of them as Hyatt stays. Would I use it for like an Air France flight? Yeah, absolutely, if I needed to. But I want to prioritize those for Hyatt. So even at transferring at 100%, I'm honestly not sure I would do it when buying them can be so cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So in my example, I stayed at the Kimpton Seafire, and we'll get into this just absolutely gorgeous stay, but it is 70,000 points a night. Because I hold the credit card and have Platinum Elite status, I can book the fourth night for free. So to get 4 nights here costs 210,000 points. My strategy was I opened the business card when it was at 165, and I had my husband open the business card and came to learn that we couldn't share. So that was a bummer. And then we figured out the points transferring thing afterwards, after I did this little
Oh,
move.
so you didn't even get to use that for
So
this day?
no, but I am gonna use them in
Okay.
Europe. So like we'll use them, but yes, it was really annoying. Uh so look, even people who teach this are learning.
Oh, yeah.
You learn by
Uh
doing that. You have to make mistakes and figure things out as you go.
yeah, exactly. And so I had the 165, and then I had some points from spend, but not a whole lot because it's you only have to spend
Yeah.
$3,000
Nothing.
in 3 months, which I think this is also these are very attainable offers. You're not having to spend 15 or $20,000 to earn these welcome bonuses. They're very easy. So, all in all, you're talking about 165 or 168,000 points for a 210,000 point stay. By having the credit card and having status at any level, we didn't even talk about diamond status. There's the highest tier status is diamond, and it's the one that comes with free
Mm.
breakfast. It is challenging to get because you have to stay like 70 nights, which absolutely not. Or when you have the IHG Premier credit card or the Premier Business credit card, you could spend $40,000 on it to get to Diamond Elite status.
Whoa.
Your face says my exact thought. Like, even if I had $40,000 to spend on a credit
Nope.
card, I can think of a lot of sign up bonuses that I would rather
Yep.
get, and how valuable those points would be over chasing IHG status and getting a handful of free breakfasts.
100%. 100%. Not worth it.
So,
All right. What's the rest of the strategy here?
but so the rest of the strategy, so I'm like looking at my notes. So I'm at a deficit of 45,000 points that I need for the 210,000 total that I need for Kimpton Seafire 4 nights. I actually bought them because when you have status, IHG is rolling out promos on their points buying program regularly, at least I'd say 3 times a year. They roll out some promo where you would get a bonus when you buy extra points. And by having status, my bonus was 100% extra. So you are double, and whatever you buy, you get for double. So I bought the extra points I needed, 40,000. I think I ended up buying 50,000 points for $150.
That is so
So
good.
it's so cheap to buy points from IHG when they are running these promos, and when you have status and you can get 100% bonus for buying points. To me, that's where I'm like, I don't know if I would even transfer Chase, even with
Nope.
100% bonus,
No.
when I could buy 50,000 points for $150.
Yeah, let me tell you that I was looking up the Seafire just in terms of cash rates, and the fluctuation is crazy. But if you are going to stay in like January, it's like 2,000 something dollars a night. If you're going to stay, I looked at a date in June, that's when I was seeing availability for those 70,000 point nights. It's still almost $800 a night. So you are capping off your 4 night stay and spending $150 out of pocket. That's crazy. That is
Yeah,
wild.
so I will do the math for you. The nights we stayed in June, we stayed 4 nights in June. just because we did a kid-free trip. This is my husband and I try once a year to go, which I absolutely love because when you are a family, traveling on cash is expensive. And I felt like these little couples getaways were the first thing I was cutting when we had
Yep.
budget. Now that you have points and you can take them, I feel like we can prioritize these things that I would kind of feel guilty doing otherwise. So once a year, we do a couples getaway, and June was the best time of year to get childcare for us. Is it the best time of year to go to Grand Cayman? I will tell you, it felt like we were vacationing on the surface of the sun. It was so hot,
Just
but
get in the water.
I mean,
Just get in the water.
get in the pool, have a drink. It didn't bother us, but it is very hot. The room, because I also have this platinum elite status, you are given room upgrades when they are available, and you are more likely to get those room upgrades and lower seasons like June than if you were to go over Thanksgiving or over spring break. So the room we were upgraded to, I booked a room that was just their standard king size room. And we were upgraded to it wasn't necessarily, I think they called it like their king suite. It's not like a bedroom. It was huge, but it's not like a suite with like a separate room or something. But
Right.
it was still very big. It had a huge balcony, like probably the biggest balcony I have ever had on a stay, overlooking the ocean.
Yeah.
So it was an upgrade I was thrilled to receive. The 4 nights that we were there in June for this room would have cost $7,500.
Oh my gosh.
No way on earth would I ever spend over $7,000 for 4 nights somewhere, even on a birthday
Nope.
splurge trip. Like, I would
Right.
just never do that. So for me, all in, what this cost me was $490 when I bought my $150 worth of points, and you do have to pay a resort fee
Oh.
of $85 a day. So unlike Hyatt and Hilton, you do have to pay resort fees at IHG. So that is worth knowing. So if you are looking for 100% free stay, this might not be the pull for you, but for $7,500 of value to spend $490, I did the math. I got a 97% discount on this stay.
Amazing.
And that to me is like a huge
Incredible.
value.
Yeah, absolutely. While we're
Even
talking,
I have heard people use the strategy of buying the points they need outright, like not even
yes,
earning a
absolutely.
single point. So I didn't do the math. We probably could, but to buy 210,000 points would still be significantly cheaper than $7,500.
Yeah, I think that's very common with people who travel on cash a lot. On our podcast, we are super, super budget. So we tend to want the lowest amount out of pocket. We don't do a lot of that. But at the conference, that's what the speaker was mentioning. He travels a lot on points, but also on cash. And it is very common that you can save money, get about at least 50% discounted stay just by buying points and booking with those points instead of paying cash outright. So while we're on the topic of the Kimpton Seafire, tell us a little bit more about that property, because that is a very well-known property in the points and miles world, very popular. People love it. So other than, you told us you were in a king suite, what's great about the property itself? What did you really enjoy?
Well, I really love a Kimpton. Again, like they are just so quirky. They have so much personality. The decor is beautiful. Like I'm a sucker for walking in and just feeling
Yes.
luxurious. And it has that feel all around. Like you walk in and they're immediately handing you you big, beautiful lobby. You walk in and they're greeting you and taking your bags for you. Like once you get there, there is not a single thought you have to have, which I think for me as a parent's getaway, that is what I want to do. Like I love vacations where you do a lot and you tour and you adventure. In a parent stay, like all I want to do is sit my butt in a lounger for 8 hours and not
Heck
not have
yes.
a single thought. Like, and this is the stay for doing that. I would come here with my kids. It is also very family friendly. Like, they have a splash pad area. They have a lot of like extras that I think kids would really love. And it was kind of like, while I was sitting there, it's funny when you do a parents getaway. I feel like we go and we're like, we're so excited to have a break from our kids. And like 90% of the time, we're talking
Yep.
about our kids. And like, looking at pictures of them, and you're like, you know what, like, I love this because I can appreciate you from afar. And so
Absence makes the heart grow fonder, people.
100%. And so at the Seafire, like, they have like all kind, like a big lawn area and all kinds of like table tennis and games and all kinds of things that I was like, I know my kids would love this, but I was happy to be there without them. So yes, we walk in, they're immediately handing you drinks. This is a really fun quirk of Kimpton specifically. But during certain times of the year, they will have a secret password where if you drop the secret password at check-in, you get a little free gift. You could literally just say the secret password. You could say, the secret password is, when I was there, it was, I saw this on social. I saw it, or social sent me, was the
Social
secret
sent
passcode.
me.
Social sent me. So if you have any stays in the next 9 days, because it's through August, through the end of August, I don't know when the podcast will come out, but that is the summer password for Kimpton. If you say social sent me, you will get a free gift. For me, it was a can of rosé. Like, it wasn't, it's not like something really crazy, although I have heard stories of people earning a free breakfast.
Ooh.
Or
Now we're talking.
there's one reward that it's up to the specific Kimpton what they will do. Sometimes you like spin a wheel or, you know, something like that. Like, someone got like a raid the bar
Oh my.
promo, which is like being able to eat or drink anything from your mini bar for free uh, for like a day. So like, that is really fun. But I guess my can of rosé was good.
It's a fun little quirk.
But it is, and that's what I love about a Kimpton, is there are so many fun little quirks. The resort is gorgeous. It is like uh everything is thought of. They are constantly, there's not even a leaf on a sidewalk. Like, it is groomed to a T. When you come out in the morning, like, you can tell like the beach has been raked, like, just gorgeous. The other thing is, like, the pool is beautiful. The pool is very nice. And there are like pool attendants, like, you walk down and they're like, oh, Miss Jack, like, they remember your name from every day. Like, oh, Miss Jackson, we will set you up over here. And they set you up in chairs. And the other thing that I thought was really fun was there's actually like this little flag system that they have on all their pool chairs, where like, when you want service, when you want to order a drink or order lunch or something, you flip your
Yes.
flag up and someone is there to see what you need, which now I'm like, why doesn't everybody have this?
Seriously,
How
because
annoying.
same when we were just in Cancun, I thought they need the flags because they come by a lot, and sometimes, especially for my less social husband, he's like, "Can we just put up a sign that says we don't want anything right now? We're okay.
Do not
We are
disturb.
okay, thank you." The flags are
I
genius.
know. It's like when you're like on the airplane and you like close your eyes pretending to sleep,
To not talk to the
talk
yep,
to
yeah.
anybody. But yes, that's the same. I loved the flags, and just they're coming around in the afternoon with frozen grapes
Ooh.
and mango iced tea. The day we got there pretty early. It was before noon, and so our room wasn't ready yet, but they immediately escorted us to like a special changing room area where you could change. And so it was like walking off the airplane, we were sitting poolside within an hour.
Wow.
Beautiful.
That's amazing.
And they have all the sunscreen there, so like, we didn't even have to travel with all that stuff. Like, sunscreen is out. I mean, I have like something bougie for my face.
Now, I
But
want to note for everybody, this is not actually an all-inclusive property. So food you do need to pay for, did you stay on property and eat there at their restaurants, or is it in a location where you could go off property to eat?
Yeah, so that is the good point. That is the one downfall, is that the food is really
I've heard that.
expensive. Like, very expensive. My morning latte every day was $13,
Oh,
and I got an
you weren't
acai
kidding.
bowl. And like a lot of mornings I would have an acai bowl and it was like
I'm gonna throw
$18.
up.
So
I can't.
when I was staying there, I was like, well, I'm glad that the hotel stay is as cheap as it is, because we definitely like spent it on food and beverage. But you can go off property. On this particular stay, I think we went off property twice to eat, because we were there for ultimate lounging and relaxing. uh we would just eat like a big breakfast, and then we typically like share some nachos or something at the pool for lunch, and then have dinner, and then wait for dinner. We're also not like heavy
Mhm.
drinkers. Like, I enjoy a drink by the pool, but like, if you're going to be getting a whatever, a bucket of beer, like that's going to cost you there. So you kind of have to be conscious of those things. But one fun little fact is that the resort also has free bikes, that you like, free beach cruisers that you can check
Oh,
out.
I love
And so
that.
you could ride. There are a number of local establishments. We didn't actually go to them because, again, in June you are on the surface of the sun. It was very hot, and the idea of getting on a bike and riding when it felt like 600 degrees was not appealing to me. But you definitely could do that, and there are some very nice local establishments with also, I think, probably more authentic Caribbean food for a much cheaper
yeah.
rate. So that would definitely be worth doing, um, if you are looking for a more budget option. There are even other resorts with like pizza parlors and things like that.
Okay. I have a question about the mini fridge. Is it big enough that if you wanted to clear it out and set some stuff on the counter and then perhaps find a little convenience store locally, is that an option? Could you stock up on some of your own things?
The fridge is like kind of your standard mini fridge, and it has all those grooves for
The
like,
cans. Mhm.
sodas and like, yeah, like how they organize. Could you take them all out and like
I've done it.
put in a little bit of milk or a yogurt? Like, yes, you could probably have a few things, but if you wanted to have like a stocked fridge with like stuff for sandwiches and a head of lettuce, probably
Mm.
not. I don't know if this is just like a millennial PTSD thing, but like, I remember my parents would always yell at us for touching anything in the mini fridge, because there was like this idea that if you moved anything, there were magnets in the fridge and it would charge you. Do you
Yes,
remember that
yes, I
old?
Yes.
do.
Oh, I feel like I've always heard that, but it's not true. You can take everything out and put it back in. They just do an inventory, guys. Maybe at some really fancy places they do. So maybe check for the Kimpton
I don't
Seafire.
think anyone
I don't
does
know.
that,
There's
but
magnets
like,
in the towels or chips in the towels. So, I mean, like, who knows? Who knows?
who knows? Um, but yes. So but yeah, so like, I feel like that sometimes lives with me. Like, it is still kind of like triggering to me to like pull things out of the fridge. I'm like, oh, I hope I don't get charged for this. But no, I've never actually been charged. So yes, there is a mini fridge, but I think it would be challenging to stock with a lot of stuff. Could you come with like granola bars and things like that? Like, I think we actually did have a few protein bars, just because that's something I tend to travel with. But the food is really expensive. It is very good, but if I were traveling here with my family, this would be a kicker
Yeah,
for
no.
me. I think,
Nope.
like, honestly, my kids would love this resort. I would think about bringing them back one day, although there's a lot of the world to see, so I don't really feel the need to come back with my kids, but that would be hard. The one thing I want to say, this resort is gorgeous. I'm very glad we did it for this stay. Right next door is a Hotel Indigo, and it is priced at 50,000 points a night. And you can find these 50,000 points a night throughout the year. There's going to be less of them, certainly in their high season. They probably have fewer rooms available. You probably have to be fast on booking them. But for example, the credit card I just signed up for that has 5 free nights with a cap of 60,000 points a night, you could use them at the Hotel Indigo. And I will say, we went to dinner there. There's actually a golf cart where they'll drive you back and forth. It's like a 5-minute walk, but like the novelty of a golf cart is fun. So we rode the golf cart over there, and Hotel Indigo has a rooftop bar that we went to for their happy hour. And so they had good happy hour pricing on drinks and appetizers. And we had that one night for dinner. It's called Pom Pom, and it has a beautiful view of the ocean. I think the reason why it is priced at 50,000 points compared to 70,000 for the Kimpton Seafire is it is the way it is located. It is further back from the beach, not far. It's a 5-minute walk, but you're not like walk out of your room and immediately sit down on a lounger. Its pool is also smaller, but it's still nice. Like if you look at my Instagram, I have I bumped them up to being the first highlights right now for the Kimpton Seafire and the Hotel Indigo. So you could go and look at images of both properties and see what you think. I obviously didn't go in a room at the Indigo, but pictures I've seen and talking to guests there, they said that they were perfectly nice. I would think that is a great value of those 5 free nights is going and staying in the Hotel Indigo, especially if you are an East Coast traveler. There were a lot of travelers that we met who were like, we just came down for the weekend. It's like you could leave on Friday after work and get to Grand Cayman on a direct flight from Florida. Within, I think it's a very short flight.
Oh, yeah.
So this, I think, would be a great use if you were like, I'm just want to get these 5 free nights and then go and stay a long weekend in Grand Cayman. I would probably pick the Hotel Indigo. And you can still come to the Kimpton Seafire and eat at their restaurants if you wanted to. The pool attendance is very strict, though. Like you couldn't go to the pool there. But like I said, Indigo has its own beautiful pool. They also have beach service, and they had very nice loungers. So like, I don't think you'd be missing a whole lot if you wanted to stay next door.
That is.
Yeah, I think it's great that there's options. So I'm glad you told us about those. As we are coming up here and kind of closing out, I want to summarize for everybody just so that you can kind of put the pieces together with this IHG program. Probably the most important thing that we have talked about is we love that they have that 4th night free, but I want to reiterate that that is not if you've booked with cash. That's if you've booked with points, and you need to have that automatic Silver Elite status, at least that comes with either personal credit card. The no annual fee personal credit card, the Traveler, comes with Silver Elite status, and that gives you the ability to redeem 3 nights and get a 4th night free. So it is worth it, I think, to have an IHG card if you're in this travel game for the long haul, even if you have the no annual fee card. But the $99 personal card should really be considered because of that free night that you get every year on your anniversary once you pay the $99 annual fee. So it's kind of, you can think of it as a $99 night if you want. But it's truly a great program. You can do a lot with it. It's flexible. It's worth looking into. Jenn, remind everybody where they can find you online.
So I am at travel.more.mama, and mama spelled MOMMA, which I have found has surprised people. I guess most people spell it MAMA. But yeah, so travel.more.mama. I have bumped up the Grand Cayman highlights so you can see this hotel.
Perfect.
You can see the Indigo. One other thing I want to mention about the free night that I think is really creative is from the West Coast, or even from like where I am in Denver, Grand Cayman was actually farther to get to than I expected. There are not a lot of direct flights. However, United had a really great fare where I was traveling for 20,000 points. And I could find a lot of these. One of my pet peeves on a travel day is losing time. Like I want to get to where I'm going as early as possible in my day. And So what we actually booked going there was a United flight that had an overnight layover in Houston and then the first morning flight to Grand Cayman. So like coming from Denver, which is behind in time zone, I was still in Grand Cayman by noon on the day I wanted to be there. I used my free night for that airport stay in
Mm,
Houston. So I didn't even have to pay for the airport stay. So is it a little inconvenient to have an overnight stay? Yes, but that free night was a great use of being able to get us there earlier on the day we wanted to be
yeah,
there.
that's an awesome tip. I have already started formulating that I maybe want to take my husband here. Although I have to say, I'm a little nervous about it not being an all inclusive and having to pay for food. Like, I feel like we got very spoiled just being able to have whatever we want. Jenn, are we seeing you at Travel More? I think we are.
I hope so. I have not booked yet. I really want to come. I had so much fun last year. It is right now, it is scheduled right around the Jewish holidays.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is not on a Jewish holiday, but it would be challenging uh, to leave at that point. So I'm kind of hoping last minute to see like what happens with our schedule and what we're doing then and like come out because the sessions are so good. You learn so much, but just the mingling was so
Yeah,
fun. Like I loved it and I'm like really want to get back and come see all my online
I know.
friends and
There's nothing like
so
it.
I hope to come back, but I haven't officially
Yes.
booked just because of the
I do know
scheduling.
that it's a challenging weekend for a lot of people since it's a month earlier this year, which is such a bummer, but hopefully you could make it. The prices do go up on September 4th, everybody. So if you're still trying to get in at that early bird level, I think it's $40 less right now than it's going to be in a few weeks. So I don't know, Jenn, maybe you got to start looking at your schedule right now.
Right now.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. This was a fantastic episode. It has been a long time coming to get into the IHG program, and I feel like we've given everybody such a good overview and a specific trip that they can work towards. I want to remind everybody to join us in the Facebook group. If you have anything to say about IHG or the Kimpton Seafire or another fun stay you've done using these cards, we want to hear all about it over there. And you can always join us on our Instagrams. I will link Jenn's Instagram in the show notes below so you can find her very easily and make sure you are following her there. And we will see you guys next time.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
If you enjoyed this show today, please consider writing us a review or clicking 5 stars wherever you listen to your podcasts. And please subscribe and follow along so that you never miss an episode.
You can follow the podcast on Instagram or YouTube at Wonderland on Points Podcast. You can find me on Instagram at Family Travel for the Win with the number 4.
And you can find me on Instagram at Points to Wonderland.
If you're thinking about getting a new Travel Rewards credit card, consider using the links in our show notes. Using our links helps to support us and keep our podcast going so we can provide you with all the latest tips and tricks when it comes to traveling on points.
And if you aren't sure which card is right for you, shoot us an email at wonderlandonpoints@gmail.com, and we would be happy to walk you through a free card consultation. That's also a great place to send us all of your comments and questions. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you here next time.